go to our next guest, Fox News contributor Joe Concha. Joe, thanks so much for coming on the U.S. Report. And Joe Biden, I tell you what, he's not looking too great. First, we had the stories that all of his aides had to walk around him when he was going to the helicopter so that he didn't, show off his stumbles too much. And now his handlers are reportedly, quote, looking to shorten his speeches in what a Biden campaign spokesman claims is about an effort to have quality over quantity. Now, I'm not buying this. What about you, Joe?
Oh, I think that if you're trying to win the presidency again, you can't do it by pleading the fifth, right? And to shorten Biden's speeches, it only makes sense because we've seen him time and again lose battles against teleprompters where he's literally reading, and you know what these are, James, cues in the teleprompter. So when he's told to pause after a sentence, he's literally reading the word pause. Or yesterday, he read a speech about a guy that he said was drafted by the Green Bay Packers, and his name was Riley, last name, right? Literally said that. So it's Ron Burgundy over and over again. And then if Biden goes off script, then it's cleanups on aisles 5, 16, 24, and 31, as far as either some sort of blatant lie that could be easily fact-checked, exaggeration that could be fact-checked, or some story that makes zero sense. So here we have the sitting president of the United States, the so-called leader of the free world, and his handlers are petrified to put him out there in any way, shape, or form because they know that he's not aging like a fine wine, but like cottage cheese at this point.
Well, yeah, indeed. I mean, cottage cheese, does that go well with his Uncle Bozy, who apparently got eaten by cannibals the other week, according to him? But, as you say, it's like the teleprompter. If I was to just simply say, Google bans Trump ad, which is the prompt in front of me, he would just read that. Instead of saying last week a pro-Trump ad targeting black voters in Georgia was removed by Google for allegedly violating policy. Joe, let's have a quick look at this policy violation.
Hello, I'm with the Biden campaign.
Yeah, I voted for Biden last time.
That's fantastic.
Is it? Everything costs more. Food, gas, rent.
Okay, but Biden's helping pay rent for newcomers to America from around the world.
You mean illegal immigrants? I'm struggling to pay my bills, but Biden's paying rent for illegals? They get handouts and I'm paying for it.
But Biden can still count on your vote, right?
Things were better before Biden. I'm voting for Trump.
Clearly that ad was so effective, someone just didn't want people to see it. Is this a sign of things to come with big tech trying to put their thumb on the scale of the coming election?
Oh, James, we've seen this movie over and over again as far as big tech getting involved in these situations and outright censorship by Google in this situation. You watch that ad, you tell me what the violation was exactly as far as anything that was spoken about. Gas prices and food prices are higher than they were when Joe Biden took office, significantly higher. And many black voters here in this country are not happy at all that illegal immigrants are coming into this country and being given all this free stuff in terms of lodging, in terms of phones, in terms of credit cards and food. And they see their social services collapsing around them because we're spending all this money taking care of illegals. So I don't understand what was wrong with that ad that was remotely controversial, but Google obviously doesn't think there's something wrong with the ad too, but you're right. They are trying to weaponize big tech. Once again, we'll see it from Facebook. We'll see it from Google. We won't see it from X, I don't think, because Elon Musk is now the owner and things have changed over there. But I think people are onto this, and probably now this ad's going to be seen by more people because of it went viral on social media anyway than they would have if Google just allowed it to be played.
And it is fascinating. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've found in my work that using Google as a search engine for anything that's remotely political is now almost useless because of the sort of results that it winds up putting out or trying to hide from you because it knows what you're going for. But I'm glad you mentioned the migration issue because we're also seeing that in places like Chicago, big Democrat stronghold. Locals are saying that black voters are turning on the Democratic Party because of the migrant crisis. Here's another resident having something to say about this on Fox. Have a look.
The Democratic Party has counted us for so long, counted our votes for so long, to the point where they don't even try to appeal to the black community, the black voters at all. But there's been a shift taking place here in Chicago. So many of our black members have decided to change over to switch from blue to red.
So what does Joe Biden think about this? Let's have a look at this here.
Can you imagine a kid 2 years old saying, "Mom, don't take me across Rio Grande, it's against the law"? Give me a break. These have been model citizens.
Model citizens. I kind of feel like people like Lake and Riley's family would have a little bit something different to say about this.
That was, of course, the young woman, 22 years old, murdered on the campus at the University of Georgia, bludgeoned to death, James. I mean, and the person that was responsible was an illegal immigrant from Venezuela who had been arrested in the United States before and should have absolutely been deported the minute that happened. And of course, it didn't. And here you have the president of the United States saying that they're all model citizens. No, they are not. Hundreds upon hundreds of terrorists have passed into the United States through the U.S. southern border. That's not Joe Concha's opinion, or I'm just trying to gaslight your viewers right now. That is according to the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI. And now we don't know where a lot of those people are. And we saw what happened on October 7th. And if we see another September 11th here in the United States, and it ends up being because of folks that crossed over the border looking to do harm here, and the president did nothing about it, then obviously that is a completely impeachable offense. No question. Hopefully that does not happen. But the border is the biggest, probably along with immigration, obviously they go hand in hand, issue that we have here in the U.S. right now, just behind the economy and crime. And if those three issues end up being the big three issues in this election, Donald Trump not only wins, he wins in a landslide, 40 states, not seen since 1988. That's what we're talking about here, if that ends up being the three biggest issues in this country.
I think you're absolutely right about that. I mean, you just see the bizarreness, too, that these Democrat strongholds are taking the brunt of it. I think the politics of this could be really bad for the Democrats. Thanks for your time, Joe Concha, as always.